Hi guys! It's a brand new week and I hope you guys had a good weekend. So this week's topic is going to be stress and stress management. And this is a really important topic within health because we are going to deal with stress our whole life. And unfortunately, some of that stress is going to be negative and we have to know how to manage it. And the people that have really good mental health are able to recognize when they have stress and they are able to take their tool bag of techniques and help manage that stress and get rid of it. We're all going to have stress in our life, and having a little bit of stress to carry is actually healthy. Stress helps motivate us to become better and to challenge ourselves. And so it's okay to have some stress, and it's okay to not to sometimes carry that stress. But when we carry it without managing it and the stress keeps piling on and piling on and piling on, that's when it can lead to chronic illness. And we can become really sick physically. We can also experience depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. So we want to make sure that we know what it feels like to be stressed. A lot of times we don't even know what that feels like because we're just used to those feelings all the time. We feel them constantly because we're never trying to fix those feelings by relieving our stress. So we want to make sure that we have that tool bag. We recognize how we feel, and then we can get into our tool bag of stress management techniques and utilize them when we need them. So I wanted to start off with a demonstration. So I've got here two glasses. One is empty and one's full. And this empty one is going to represent you. And the water in this one is going to represent stress in general. And stress can be positive and negative. So we typically think that stress is all bad, but it's not. We have good stress like doing well on a performance or playing in a basketball game or dancing in a recital, doing good on a presentation. Those are all forms of stress. Going on a date for the first time, getting married is a good stress, having a baby. So these are things that are going to happen in your life that are going to cause some stress, but are good things. But we also have negative things that can cause stress, like fighting with your brother and sisters, or doing poorly at school, not getting into the college you want, not getting a job, maybe feeling alone, like you don't have any friends. So stress can be positive and negative. So with this demonstration, we're going to add some stress into our cup. That's us. This is our stress cup. And we're always going to carry a little bit of stress. And generally, when we use one of our stress management techniques, we get rid of this stress and are able to take it away from our our stress cup. So each day we're going to pour some stress in and we'll pour some stress out. And even when we go to sleep, we are going to get rid of a lot of that stress because sleeping helps us recharge. But sometimes we add more stress than we take away, and we can carry a lot of stress at one time. Now, if I were to say I just carried this stress and I thought, okay, I'm good, I'm not overflowing, so I'm not reaching my breaking point, but I'm able to get through each day, but I'm just carrying this weight and not getting rid of it. It's going to be okay to carry for a while, but after a few days, a few hours, this is going to get heavy if we're thinking about I'm carrying this weight. And the longer we carry our stress, the heavier the burden is going to be. And so we want to make sure that we recognize when our stress cups are full and that we utilize those stress management techniques to get rid of the stress when we can. And that can be in a variety of different ways. And you're going to learn about all these different ways this week. You're going to try some different techniques and see if you can incorporate some new skills to your stress management techniques. So what causes stress? And that is something that we don't really think about when we're talking about stress. So I want to go over the stress response. I'm just going to switch my camera really fast here. And the stress response is what our body actually goes through when we experience a stressor, which is something that causes stress. And that can be anything. I talked about a few examples a little bit ago. But our body, I don't think we think of stress as being an actual physical response, but it is. Our body is going on a lot of different changes when we are introduced to a stressor. So there's 3 stages in the stress response. The first stage is alarm. And this is the stage where we are introduced to that stressor and our body is trying to decide what to do. And it starts releasing adrenaline, and that is our fight or flight hormone. Our body is going to get ready to either fight the stress or it's going to want to run from it. And this is a very animalistic characteristic. And generally, we're not trying to run from, bears that are trying to chase us anymore. We're not trying to run from predators. We're not trying to defend our territory like an animal would. But we are going to be in that moment when we're faced with a stressor. Are we going to stand and defend ourselves, or are we going to try to get away from the stressors? So our personality plays a huge factor in whether we stay in fight or flight, as well as our experience with that stressor. You go into a test that a math test that you've done before and you've studied for, you're going to be in that fight mode of doing well and sticking with that test. But if you have never gone into, it's your first test of a new school year and you don't understand the concepts, you might want to flee from that and not do the test at all. So that adrenaline is going to change our body in many different ways. We're going to see an increase of heart rate, increase of blood pressure, our body temperatures, we're going to get hot and sweaty. Our muscles are going to tense up because we are going to get in that mode of, am I going to run or am I going to fight? Our body doesn't really love to be stressed. It doesn't like that adrenaline running through our body. So it's going to try to get rid of it and go back to that nice, calm, resting state. And that's called homeostasis, when our body is just in balance. So our body is trying to fight itself internally to try to get back to where it was calm before the stress came. With all that fighting going on internally, we are going to feel tired afterwards. And so you probably feel that maybe after a long day of school, you feel tired even though you probably just sat there at the computer doing your work. You feel just exhausted because your brain has been stimulated with stressors all day. And so it's good that's why sleep is one of the best stress management techniques, because we're relaxing and recharging and getting rid of that stress, as well as exercise. Exercise is a great way to manage that stress. Even though we feel tired, as soon as we start exercising, we're going to release those endorphins that are going to help us have energy and feel good. And so that's going to release a lot of that adrenaline as well. And this week we're going to have an assignment where we look through all of those changes in our body, and we practice recognizing those so we know how it feels and then how we respond to that. And I hope that you'll enjoy these videos and articles this week to learn more about stress.